Hey everyone, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for taking your time and tuning in here. We really hope that you're going to get some value today. My name is Jazel. I work in Shield for about 3 years now. I run communications and content. So anything LinkedIn related and content related, I am your go-to in here. And we have...
Yeah, my name is Martin, and I'm in sales. And yeah, I talk to a lot of people wanting to start or is starting an employee advocacy program, and how you can integrate Shield in that process to make it easier. Yeah.
Fantastic. So today's program, we are actually focusing on data-driven employee advocacy programs. What we're trying to do by this is we know that a lot of companies and teams right now, as you've mentioned, are starting employee advocacy programs, but we've heard from a lot of people that it's either really hard to measure, sustainability of it is hard, keeping employees motivated is hard. What else can you add to that?
Yeah, that in general, if you are starting an employee advocacy program, it can be hard to track all the efforts and see the value of those efforts you're doing. Yeah.
Exactly. So for today's schedule, we're going to go first why manual tracking fails, and it's hard to start an employee advocacy without actually have some data to back you up. And then we're going to go through how Shield supports EA programs. Then we actually have developed a 4-level employee advocacy measurement framework with our team, and Andreas, our co-founder and CEO, has actually put a lot of thought about this, and we will walk you through with our product. And then we have some tips to keep employees engaged and motivated to keep on posting, because if they don't post, the program basically is non-existent. And then we have an open Q&A. For the open Q&A part, please drop the questions throughout, and we'll go through to it at the very end. We will save 10 minutes for it, I think. And to the bottom right, you see this triangle, square, and circle, and right there you see the Q&A button, and you can drop your questions there throughout. Please let me know if you guys can find it. Just a thumbs up is already good. If we can see.
Yeah, there's thumbs up.
Perfecto. Okay, perfect. So now we're just gonna go ahead and start. We'll start and introduce. So the problem with manual tracking. One is we realized that there's no visibility on content performance, meaning that you can keep on posting and everything, but if you don't know what actually works and what doesn't, an employee advocacy program where you're trying to have multiple people from your team post, but you don't know what is going right or wrong, like there's no way of having it sustainable. One, it's the impact of it, like how does it impact our business and how does it actually impact how do we show ROI? Two is the consistency of structure, as we have already mentioned, we've faced it. And number four is the amount of Excel sheets we have. I mean, Martin mostly has been sitting in demos where people show them like we copy paste like our data there, and then we always have to update it manually. So we know it's a pain, and thankfully we also have Shield to support with that. So what Shield can do for EA programs is track LinkedIn content at scale. We have a dashboard where you can have all your posts, all your people, all in one visual, and then really deep dive and understand what works, what doesn't, what do we have to optimize, where do we have a problem, what is working. And then understand individual as well as team performance. So it gives you an overview of, and we will go right there because we will show the dashboard as well, of having all your team's content in one place, but as well as deep diving on who is doing what, who is pulling the strings here, who can we learn from, or who needs a bit of help. Then it helps with building consistency, because tracking what works and what doesn't can actually build a process around it and help you understand of, okay, how do we do this as a team and make and scale having more members to it. And then lastly, we know that a lot of EA managers, for example, it's hard for them to show the ROI, and why is it good to invest in such a program? Because we do believe in organic marketing content. I think all of us here, because most of us post on LinkedIn consistently, but it's hard for them to get buy-in from their leadership. So in this case, Shield helps with showcasing actual wins and ROI material for buy-in.
Exactly. So now to the 4-level measurement framework, which is really to create a narrative with your data and make sense of the data also, or mostly internally. So for the first, as Jason quickly mentioned at the beginning, LinkedIn is growing. EA programs and employee-generated content is becoming more and more popular. And it's a good way for companies to utilize social media and utilize engaged employees. So we see a lot of new programs starting, as well as more programs trying to evolve within the company. So the 4-level framework consists of 4 different types of metrics that we can track to create this narrative throughout our LinkedIn effort. Level 1 is the very basics. So this is where we map the activity we have to the impressions that we are getting. So this is about measuring how many posts we're doing a week, who is posting, who is active, how can we help not active people become active, and how do we see this activity in the impressions and reactions and comments that we're getting. So we can just quickly jump into Shield. I'll share the screen. And as you can see, all this data is easily available just when you open Shield. So you can see that we are posting, this is the Shield account. You can see that we are doing 9.8 posts a week, our activity over the past couple of months. And then we can see the impressions that we're doing. So let's take this year until now, and we can see how we're doing. As you can see, last year we had a pretty good post, so we are a bit behind that, but it's a good steady incline. And then we have all the basic metrics. We can see how we're doing on comments. We are up 48%. So this is a good way of quickly seeing, okay, how active are we, and are we getting any metrics we can start tracking. Also, we can jump to profiles to get a quick view of who is active, who may need some guidance.
The subtle call out here.
No, but really also to help or to reach out. Do you need any inspiration? How can I help you?
Yeah.
And to see, just to get an idea of where is the impressions coming from, because Shield is all about understanding your data. So this is an important part. And we will start presenting. Perfect. As mentioned, in the dashboard, when you go all the way to the bottom, you also have top posts, so you can see who's doing well. And as you can see, we have a pretty tough competition with Andreas. We probably need a workspace without him to have some real competition.
I see myself there,
yeah,
and I'm just happy.
And I will quickly mention this is an old screenshot. No, just kidding. Then we have recent posts, and this, I always see it as a competition to just be in the recent post with 1 or 2 posts, showing that I'm active, being active in the feed. So all in all, Shield gives a very quick overview of how you're doing on the basic metrics. Then you can dive deep. So everything in Shield has 2 layers, both the profiles and the posts. So let's start with the profiles. Here, I just pressed Andreas, and then we can dive into his activity. We can see it over the year, and we can see how is he doing. And then we can dive deeper into the engagement that he's getting. What's really interesting is to see, let's take one of his top posts. We would assume this is good for business. He's getting a lot of impressions, a lot of reactions. But then we can dive deeper into the post analytics and see, is it the demographics that we try to reach? So if our target group is founders and co-founders, this is good. And the impressions is good for the business. If we were targeting product managers or something not on this list, this is a good post for probably awareness or Andreas's LinkedIn profile itself, but it's probably not good for business because it's not the right target group that this post resonated with. The same goes on for companies and locations. If we were trying to reach a location, a specific location, it's very of diving into your data. I'll just jump straight
Exactly.
to
So
this.
level 1 was the basic metrics to showcase, are you active actually? That's the one, it's a health check. And level 2, after posting, it's like, we just go here. Oh, that's level 2.
Yeah.
But do my posts actually resonate with the audience that we as a company are targeting? Because if not, then let's go back to level 1.
Yeah, exactly. Is it the right people that we are getting to? And this can help you, find a more targeted approach and refine your content strategy with the content that's getting to a target group. Then to level 3, the second order effects. So now we have made content, we are active, we're reaching the right people. Now it's all about having them take action. So profile views and new followers is an indication of this. If people are viewing your profile, it means that they have seen a post, clicked on your profile. And if they're following you, that means that they have taken the next step after that and pressed connect or follow when they reach your profile. And as well as the other metrics, we can track all of this in Shield. So I'll just press Andreas again. and go to profile views.
Aye.
This is for this month. Let's take this year.
Aye.
So
Okay.
this is interesting to see, okay, is there something in the content that resonates less with the audience? Is it because you are starting to change your content that maybe it reaches a new audience? Or is it because that you don't reach a new audience and the audience already knows you? So there can be many answers to why profile views is going down. And that's why having the numbers to begin with is the first step of understanding why they are as they are. And you can see here, probably had a good post, get a lot of profile views. Are they converting into new followers? We can have a look. So let's go exactly this year. And then we can see there is a slight incline compared to the others right here with the profile views were up. And then we can see, okay, this is the amount of new followers this year. So yeah, it's a good way to understand how is your content is doing well, are people taking action, and the second order effects. Yeah, anything you want to add?
Yeah, just to recap on that, it's exactly like as Martin said, when the right people are viewing your content, what is happening after that? Are they taking action? Do they actually view your profile? Do you get new followers? Because as a company, if our goal is to have an employee advocacy that is sustainable, you can keep on posting as many content as posts as you want, but if it doesn't reach the right audience, and after that, if your audience doesn't actually have an action to it, then you have to go back around the content and then do that wheel again.
Exactly. And impressions is good, again, as I said at the beginning, but what most people want is not just followers, but actual sales. Or
exactly.
They want something out of the content. And DMs is also a good indication of this. Is people reaching out to you, asking you questions, asking about the service you're offering, about your expertise, or maybe just to say that it was a good post. Yeah, so at this point, you know what's working and you just keep going, double down on what's working. This is what we talked about. Then we come to the off-platform business impact. In Shield, we have a kind of metric for this as well. So I will just share this tab again and go to the homepage. As you can see, we have the earned media value, and this is very popular for EA programs. If you are responsible for the EA program and have to sell it to your boss or a decision maker in your company, this shows you what your LinkedIn efforts were worth. So let's say that we go back to, let's take this year, and then we will do the same on impressions. So as you can see, we have had this amount of impressions. If we were to buy this amount of impressions on, let's say, LinkedIn ads, Facebook ads, and we know that our CPM is $35, then we have gained this, and it would have cost us this to buy the same amount of impressions. So this is just a bit of the value that you have created organically on LinkedIn, and it's a good number to have with you when you show this to your boss, that this is saved marketing budget.
100%.
Yeah. So jump back to this. And off-platform business impact can also be amount of clicks coming from LinkedIn as a source on your Google Analytics, sales being opened in the DMs, started in the DMs, or when you reach out, if you use Sales Navigator or other tools, you reach out on LinkedIn and people recognize you from the content that you have been posting. So it's just one of the touch points in a bigger sale as well. So that was the 4-level framework. It's really to understand the basics, keep people active, understand, are we reaching the right audience with the right content? Are people taking action based on the content that we're doing? And how is those actions leading to business down the line?
Perfect.
Yeah.
So now that we know the data narrative around an employee advocacy and how it can be measured and how it can be trickled down so it can be sustainable, the real question is how to keep employees motivated. Because as we've mentioned, like if employees don't post, the program itself is very tough. And we actually tried ourselves to run an EA program last year just to see how tough it really is, learning from our clients and our users and talking to them about this. And now what we've learned is, one, internal competition really gets people going. Just as Martin mentioned, like right here on profiles showing who is the most active, like we're looking at it on a weekly basis and joking around saying like he jokes with me today saying like, oh, you haven't posted. So I immediately took my phone and I was like, I'll post about the webinar. And it just keeps this, it makes it fun. And bringing some fun into work, sometimes it just makes it more sustainable in that sense. Another way to look at it on Shield, for example, is on the homepage, you have our top posts. This is unfair. We were like, what if we do top posts with, it's still gonna be Andreas,
Yeah,
is
I
it?
don't think you can choose anything that will help you that.
Today.
Yeah, today.
Oh,
I'm still above you.
okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, this is what we do. Another thing is, let me share this again, is we actually share wins. Now, I showed you guys the top posts that we have, and we would either look at who's really doing something great, and we would just DM them. Like a little appreciation. Mostly the big company says a lot already, and it keeps like smaller teams engaged. Then one thing is that we've seen is a lot of people hit a content block. And I've gotten it because I haven't posted in a while because I just hit a block. And what we as a team, we thought and what would be good is actually collections. So collections has been created on Shield as also for campaign guidance and everything, but not here, like we save our top performing posts in a collection. It's very simple to make, by the way. Just click on the plus, collection name, and then you are prompted to add your posts there. But for example, what we do with Andreas is, because we know he gets the most, we put it all here. And if we ever hit a blocker, we just go look at it, take inspiration, and then try to create something similar. So that helps as well in terms of a content block. Now, one other thing is creating feedback loops. We actually have a channel that is called #drafts. So before posting, if someone is scared, we put it in and we copy paste it in, and we just ask, hey guys, can you just take a look and help me and see if this is good? And I think a lot of people in our team, mostly that are very LinkedIn focused and good at content, we actually know our team, like we each other know each other, and we know what resonates with the audience to some extent. Also, when we look at the data on Shield, so it helps us get it more going. And last thing is, we always say, you are already documenting your work, might as well share it publicly. That's why we say share short case studies or mini stories, like short case studies about, oh, today we talked about this at work. Just shape it in a way that it says a story, and then post it and see how it goes, and then track it, see if it works. Does it resonate with your audience? Back to the framework we were talking about. Does the audience do action? Do we have more follower growth? And then how does it lead off the platform? Do we get DMs and all of this?
Yeah, and I also think if you're going, if you're having a company trip or something that you do together as a company, it can be a good idea as the SOMI manager or the EA manager to share with your employees. This is a good opportunity to post something. Here is some pictures from the event that you can use in your post. Here's some ideas for what happened, a talk that you've all been to, something like that. So engage employees when you're doing something together that everyone has. Then you know everyone has something they can post about. They have some visuals from the marketing team, maybe. Yeah.
And what we do usually is, like, if we're experimenting, let's say everyone wants to do a short case study as a team, and you guys are experimenting with it, use a hashtag. And then on Shield, if we go back here, because this actually really helps when I'm looking at all of our posts and trying to understand whether it works or it doesn't, with the framework we were talking about, top right corner, write down the thing that you used. We use a lot of We Are Shield, and see how much. For 136 posts, we had 2.2 million impressions. So it's nice if you guys are trying to experiment with some things, and then from this on, you understand, okay, actually case studies work for us. If not, try a different content pillar, experiment with it. So getting your team involved in the decision process with all of these things, like with the employee advocacy, is great, mostly when starting small and then scaling up. Because if it doesn't work in a small team, it's going to be hard to scale. And getting buy-in from leadership, we understand that it's hard, but that's why also showing ROI with Shield, with data, with actual numbers, it helps a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
I think, yes, that is it from our end. Please drop any questions, because now we're perfect in time. We have 10 minutes for any open questions regarding employee advocacy and the frameworks, or anything really also LinkedIn related. You will receive the deck. So all of this that we have shown today, you will receive it next week, as well as with the recording, in case you want to share it with someone who you think may need it, an EA manager, anyone who's actually trying to build a team and post more on LinkedIn so they get more organic reach. Like, we will send it to you next week, hopefully before Wednesday. I will not promise, but you will get an email from me and with the recording. But yes, feel free to drop any questions. I'm gonna check now, and then we will answer them. There is one, and it says, do you have any suggestions on how to use workspaces?
Yeah, maybe I can jump in here. So if you are not familiar, we have workspaces. So this is a way of dividing people into different groups. So let's say that we have one for the entire Shield team. You could have one for sales and success, one for internal leaderboard. What we also see is agencies is using it for different clients. But in an employee advocacy program, it makes sense to divide each division of the company into different workspaces. So they compete against each other. And you have a manager of that division that can be accountable for the small group of people and how they're doing on LinkedIn. So it's very simple to make workspaces. So I'll just do, let's say, support, and we will create a workspace. And then I can choose who is a member of this workspace. So let's just say that Jaisal and I are a member of this workspace. And then we have profiles. So Jaisal and I are members. We can view the dashboard. Let's say that we were the managers, and then we can add Adele and Olga and LV to this dashboard. And it has been created. So what you will see now is the total number of posts for these 3 profiles, and these 2 members are able to view this dashboard.
So in this case, it's like we're the EA managers, we're the
Yeah,
ones running the employee advocacy programs, and then we put certain teams into certain workspaces. So every time we need to check support team, how are they doing in terms of organic LinkedIn content? Sales,
Yeah.
because also support and sales maybe have different goals for posting on LinkedIn.
Exactly.
Perfect. Perfection. Okay, let's check if we have more questions. There's another one, and it says, is it possible to create scheduled posts or draft content in Shield? It is currently not possible to schedule posts or draft content on Shield specifically, because we are focusing on having a data-driven dashboard where it is, yes, exactly. So
Yeah, so we are an analytics platform, and that's what we try to be the best at. And yeah, use all the focus.
exactly. So we give like to say, we wanna have the data there, but in terms of the content creation, it's for you to interpret. And that's why we always say, for example, top posts, it depends on the goal, really. We don't always say the top posts or top performing posts or posts that have the highest impressions are the one that lead to business. Sometimes it's actually the one with the most comments, or the one with the most reactions. So yes. Perfect. Next question. I repurpose a lot of my content. What would you say is the best way to use Shield to do so?
Yeah, so to answer that question, I can see. Okay. I will just find. We have the webcam in front. So yeah, I found it. So I have this collection called Repurposed by Björn, which is me. And as you can see, these 3 posts were added in here. I don't know why this is. But we have these 3 posts, and this was 3 posts that sparked good engagement, good debate. Not necessarily the one with the most impressions, but the thing about these 3 posts is that I know that they are not time sensitive. I can use them again in half a year because it was something that's not related to any specific event that happened. It was just an idea or a question that's still relevant within the next 6 months. So I have them in this collection, and then I can go back to this collection, read the post, and see if it's something I want to post again. So collections is gold if you're repurposing.
100%.
And again, to find these posts, I also use the features of Shield. I go and see what has a high amount of comments or reactions, and then I can quickly go through all of my posts. I can read the post within Shield, and then I just add it to the desired collection. So it's very easy, and I think I've been using Shield way before I got hired to Shield, and this was the main use case for me as a solo creator. Yeah.
Perfection. One more question. It says here, how can I better explain to the participants that it is safe that I, as an EA leader, will see only statistics, not their private messages, control their content, and so on? We've faced it once. I believe it is also giving them access for Shield, because you can see that you don't see any private messages, nor any content from anyone else. It's just their statistics and data and the content that they post, publicly speaking. We do have certain certificates and other things that you can give them like certain documents that secure their privacy, but we also have it on our website publicly, is the data and privacy, and they can read it there. But I mean, even showing this demo really can help a lot, because as you can see, there's no dashboard nor page where we go into comments and private messages.
No. Yeah, and that's simply not something that we're fetching.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But please, if this is something that's stopping you from getting your team involved, email us or DM me or Martin, and we can provide a document saying so, because we have also faced these things.
Yeah. And next question is it also possible to integrate company profiles? Right now at Shield, we are only focusing on organic content coming from personal profiles, the core of EA programs. And it's also, to be honest, the way the place that we see the biggest reach and the biggest engagement, it's when you post from personal 100%. Profiles. But I get that it would be nice to track your company page, and it's currently not something that it's possible. We can't deny that it will be in the future, but we can also be honest and say that it's not something that is on the roadmap as of now.
As of right now, because we actually did a case study on this where I took my profile and the company's profile, and bear in mind the company's profile has around 40K almost followers, and I have 3K. But the reach, like I have an average reaction rate of 50 reactions, and the company page around 10. So we also really see that LinkedIn favors personal profiles.
Yeah, but we totally get the
need. Yes, we of course.
Any more questions?
Yes, that's amazing. If you guys have any more questions, please feel free to drop. We have 3 more minutes on the clock.
There was one.
There we go.
If I want to add people who only want to view the stats and do not reporting, but they are not active on LinkedIn, do I also have to pay for them? And the answer to that is no. So just to quickly mention, we have 2 types of users in Shield. We have members who are able to view the dashboard, and we have profiles who are providing data to the dashboard. You can both be a member and a profile at the same time. So a quick members able to view the dashboard, profiles are providing the data for this workspace. So I'll just quickly show. I'll go to the add button.
So for example, if you're a profile, you don't necessarily, you don't go to Shield and check it out. You just give your data and consent for it. If you're a member, just a member, then you are the one viewing the data, but you do not have your profile connected. Obviously, you can be both member and a profile, but yes.
And the pricing is you pay per profile that is providing data, and members is for free. So you can have members viewing the dashboard, making conclusions on the data without paying for them.
Yes.
So this is, if I was to add a member, I can add them as a role member or admin. And if I press this connect LinkedIn, it also says connecting LinkedIn profiles to Shield may impact your billing. So this is when
you have to pay.
Become billable.
Exactly.
Yeah. And if I add a profile, this is paid as well, and they will not be invited to view the dashboard.
They will just be invited to give consent for their data.
Exactly.
Amazing. Perfect.
Good questions.
We have very good questions actually. We have 1 more minute. Please drop any questions. And also just to mention, in our slides, we will send you links that you guys might need. And also please feel free to DM us on LinkedIn, or even email us if there are any questions. Yes. Okay. Then I think we don't have any questions as of right now.
No.
And it is exactly 4:30.
Then anyone who have joined can use the clap emoji.
Yes, guys, thank you so much for joining. We hope this was valuable. You'll receive the deck from us next week, as well as the recording, and please feel free to share. I will share with you guys also the playlist, because we have a playlist on YouTube with all the webinars, and we are planning next webinars very soon. So please just stay tuned on our company page and let us know what you guys think, and if you guys want more of this. Of course, we will only keep on doing it if you guys are also interested. But yes, thank you so much.
Have a nice weekend.
Have a nice weekend, guys. Well, Thursday, but have a nice day, guys.
Isn't it Friday?
No, it's Thursday. Bye, guys. Thank you so much.